Merry Christmas Eve, happy holidays to my Edison lovers. This is the TheRookYGO hitting you guys with a very special video today. Actually, by the time I upload this, it'll be Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all my subscribers and followers. This past Sunday, December 22nd, Augie's Games hosted an Edison 3v3 in which me, my teammates Zach and Cameron, we competed in and we went first place undefeated. 6 rounds undefeated at the Edison 3v3. Very happy to play with Zach and Cameron. These are my closest friends of 10 plus years. So if I felt very honored to play with a team, playing on team with them for so long. You know, I love Edison format so much. These guys are so great at Edison. It's just easy to us at this point, and I couldn't ask for a better team. I just think we were just the best team in the room. No disrespect to anybody else at that tournament, but I just think we were the best team in that room because we just had that synergy. We were helping each other out with our plays. We were just coaching each other. It was just a nice feeling to be on a team with your best friends, you know. And I took Black Wings. I went 6-0 undefeated. I dropped maybe like 2 games throughout the entire tournament. Zach also played Black Wings. He also went 6-0. And Cameron, I'm not sure what his record was. I don't think it was 6-0, but he took Light Sworns and he was also cooking. All those deck profiles are uploaded on Cameron and Zach's are on my channel right now. My deck profile is on Team Wicked's channel, so you guys can give them a subscribe. I mean, you can give them a like and a follow, subscribe to their channel. Have the links in the description. Also, I have like the links in the end credits as well.
Rounds undefeated in Swiss, and then
but yeah, my profile's on their channel. Zach's just uploaded today. Cameron's was uploaded yesterday.
It's beefy, dude. Like, you don't 2 names.
So yeah, you guys can check that out. Anyways, I'm just gonna go over my tournament report today. First off, let's see. So again, I was on Black Wings, so I was player A. Cameron was player B, and he was playing Light Sworn, and Zach was player C. He was on Black Wings. So I'll go through each of their deck lists. I'll just scroll through them. I'll just scan them. Just go over like my thoughts and thoughts on their list. But first, we're gonna talk about the rest of the top 4 teams. So our team got first, and then the other teams consisted of Gladiator Beasts, Frog Monarchs, and Vayu Turbo. There was a Machina, Frog Hero, and Hero Beat, as well as a Vayu, Macro Stun, and Frog Hero. There was actually like 3 Macro Stun decks at this event, which is kind of crazy. I guess they were trying to make a meta call for like, I guess against like zombies or frogs. I guess they were expecting a lot of those decks. There was a couple other Blackwing players there, but I think we were just the best Blackwing players in the room. Again, no disrespect to anybody else, but here's just my list. 3 Blizzard, 3 Bora, 1 Gale, 3 Kalut, 3 Shura, 3 Sirocco, 1 Vayu, 1 Dad, 1 Gores, 1 Alert, 2 Whirlwind, 1 Brain, 1 Heavy, 1 MST, 1 Book, 2 Bottomless, 2 Prison, 3 Icarus, 3 Legacy, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Oppression, 1 Dust Shoot, 1 Solemn. Side deck, 2 Sidra, 2 Crow, 2 Dyna, 1 Control, 2 DDV, 2 Dust Tornado, 2 Imperial Iron Wall, 1 Pulling the Rug, 1 Oppression. The second Oppression. Extra deck, Chimera, standard. I was playing 2 Armor Master, Brio, sorry, Colossal, Darken, Goyo, Magical Android, Stardust, Thought Ruler. Okay, yeah, it's a lot of talking. But yeah, this is the list I took. I'll go over my matchups. So round 1, I got paired up against Macro Stun. Quick and easy 2-0 there. I mean, Macro doesn't really hurt Black Wings. It hurts the rest of the meta, but like against Black Wings, you're just gonna get cooked. I mean, playing Macro or like D-Fissure does slow us down a bit, but because of what Icarus attack does, you just blow out their back row and just and then you can keep playing and just kill them basically. So yeah, that was not a hard matchup for me at all. Round 2, Lightsworn can be a tricky matchup. It can go either way, but for the most part, I went 2-1. The Black Wings were just too strong. I think game 2 is the game I dropped because I think he just had JD in his hand. This is the game I actually dropped Gores against him, but I couldn't put enough damage to go for game, and then he had the one JD and just killed me because I was down in life. But yeah, I took that game 2 games to 1, and then round 3 I played the Blackwing Mirror 2-0. Yeah, I think I just overpowered him in this match, and then I think game 2 I had Oppression. It was either game 1 or game 2, but I kept Oppression in because it actually wasn't that bad against the mirror match, because like you can stop them from summoning Gale, you can stop them from specialing Boros or Blizzard, or using Blizzard effects. So other than that, you're just dealing with their beater monsters, which you can handle, right? So yeah, 2-0 the mirror. Round 4 GBs, I 2-0'd him. I think we played him again in the finals, which is crazy. Machina into top cut, 2-1. Game 1 I lost because he opened Dust Shoot and I opened one Blackwing Gale with spell and traps, and that kind of hurt because I didn't really see a monster until later on, but it was like too late to a point. I was like, all right, he has too much advantage, I just gotta scoop it up. But game 2 and 3 I hit him on the crackback. You know, I sided in Crow against his because he was playing like double or triple Potter Avarice, and then I sided obviously Cyber Dragon, and that just kind of cooks that matchup. And then the finals we played GBs again and another 2-0. But yeah, those were my matchups. Pretty solid decks. I played against good decks, played against good players all tournament. So yeah, it was not an easy ride. But yeah, I'll just go over my choices here. I guess I'll explain the stuff that isn't standard. We'll start with Gores. A lot of Blackwing players are cutting Gores. Even my teammates were kind of arguing for me to like cut it as well, because it's not gonna do much. Because like, I kind of agree. The only reason I kept it in because you're not always gonna have a field, you know, and like the decks you would keep it in against would be those Diva Hero type decks, Zombie Hero or Zombie Welladad, maybe even Frog Hero or like Lightsworn. Those type of decks that can kind of just clear your board and try to push for damage. Oh, even a Vayu as well. Those kind of decks will try to clear your board anyway. So the logic in like, yeah, you shouldn't play this because you set back row and you have Whirlwinds, it's kind of dead. Like, yeah, sure, but like I said, they're gonna just clear your board anyway. You know, they want to always get rid of your Black Whirlwind. They're gonna try their best to get rid of that Black Whirlwind, so you're not always gonna have like a board of cards on the field, right? But that being said, it only came up once. I didn't really win that game either, and I was always siding it out the game 2 or 3s that I was going first, right? Because it's not a good card to see going first. It's better going second. So in the future, I may cut it for a second Oppression, because I think Oppression put in a lot more work that day, because it just kills almost every matchup basically. Another thing that's not standard is the One Book of Moon. One Book of Moon was pretty cracked this event because it combos so well with Blackwing Shura. I'm very glad that my teammates recommended that I played this card, because it's like, yeah, you want your Shura to go through. You want to run over monsters that you typically can't get over. So it's like Book of Moon. You activate Book, hit it over with Shura and get Shura's effect. It's very good in certain matchups like Heroes as well. So you can like Book of Moon their alias and run that shit over. It can possibly bait out those gem sparks too. So it's like, all right, cool. It's also good because this deck kind of loses to Decree, so you always keep this in against decks that do side Decree. And so you always have like something to counter if you're under decree. Not only that, it's also good to combo with Blackwing Bora because it inflicts piercing damage. So you can book a moon something and just pierce them for possibly game, you know. And you can also protect your own monsters from like bottomless trap holes because it kind of does suck that if your Blackwings get bottomless, you know. But yeah, I would continue to play Book of Moon. I kind of want to play a second. I just don't know what I would take out for the second. So we'll keep playing this, and I really liked it that day. And then the one Solemn Judgment, I wasn't maining this or siding this before, but now I'm playing it again because, again, my teammates convinced me to play it. It's just a very good blowout card at times. It's just you have to play it correctly. It's not something you want to set first turn. It's something you kind of want to hold on to, because Blackwings is a deck that just beats your opponent down. It gets you to a point where your opponent is at a few cards, because you're kind of blowing them out with cards like Icarus. You're outing certain cards with Gale having their attack. Kalute is doing damage. Blizzard makes easy access to level 6s like Goyo and Brio. So you're gonna get them to that point where they're just down to few cards, and that's when you would like put in the judgment, set the judgment, and then finish them off by giving them the final blow. Pause on that. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was that great. Like, it didn't do much because I didn't see it that often, but I'd still keep it in. We'll still keep testing the Solemn Judgment again. I don't think it's a bad card. I do side it out like going second. Actually, my teammates convinced me to keep it in going second, because Edison format is not a format like modern. Like, oh, you're going second, don't play this, right? It's a back and forth format, so it's like, yeah, it's okay to side this in going or keep it in going second. So yeah, that's it for the Sol. As for the side deck, everything pretty much performed. Besides Crow, because I didn't really see many of those graveyard decks like Frogs, Zombies, or like Vayu Turbo. I didn't play those matchups. The only matchup it came up against was Machina, and that's because I knew he was playing Pot of Avarice because he resolved it game 1. So since I saw the Avarice, I just sided these in, and it actually cooked him game 2 because he tried to Avarice back a couple of his Machina cards, and I just DD crowed and it fizzled, and I pretty much won that game. So yeah, these came in clutch against that matchup, as well as Cyber Dragon. Again, me and Cameron were talking about this. A lot of people were cutting the Cyber Dragon because Machina just fell out of favor. There's like no point of wasting a side deck space for Cyber Dragon or like extra deck space for Chimera Tech. But now, because it's a lot more prevalent, has a decent Blackwing matchup, a lot more people are playing the deck again. But yeah, this just completely blows out that matchup just by summoning one Cyber Dragon. Like, I forced a Torrential out of my opponent game 3 because I summoned this card, right? And I just won from there. But yeah, definitely keep that in. This would have been great against like the Frog decks, the other special summon decks, but again, I didn't really play those matchups, but we're still keeping that in. This didn't do shit. It came out once against Lightsworn where I mind controlled his Raikou and popped his Raikou just to get rid of it. Other than that, I think a card I would rather play would be like My Body as a Shield, because like that's a better card to side against like stuff like Hero Beat, with like when they play like Gem Sparks or like Absolute Zero. Good cards to counter against that, as well as like another good card to counter or side in against decks that side Decree, like Lightsworn. So you have that. So I think this, I would rather have My Body, and then Double Deck Devi, I didn't really side this in at all today. Again, my matchups didn't really mattered if I sided them in, like maybe GBs, but like you can kind of handle GBs without siding this. So yeah, but we'll keep siding it, of course, because it's still such a crazy card. But matchups didn't matter though if I sided this or not though. Double Dust, this was good against the mirror match. Against the matchups that I played today, yes, Dust was good, so I'm glad I kept it in. Imperial Iron Wall was good. Well, I didn't side it in today because it didn't really come up. Maybe against Macro Stun, but I mean I beat the deck anyway without it. It's just good against like Frog Hero or like Vayu Turbo, because Frog is not a threat besides like summoning Caius and Absolute Zero. This kind of nullifies the Miracle Fusion and the Caius. So other than that, frogs are kind of easy to deal with once you get rid of those threats because of Imperial Ironwall. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Same thing with the Vayu Turbo matchup. It is bad because of like against like if they have a Plague Spreader in Grave and you have this up, they can kind of keep abusing it. Same thing with Allure of Darkness. They don't banish if you have this up on the board. But besides those two things, it's kind of just makes their strategy just null and void because they can't summon anything off Vayu, pretty much. And then so what, they had the Plague, but they had to waste more resources to keep using the Plague, right? So they're very limited already. The one pulling the rug did not come up. I would not side the skin. I think I would rather side like a Mask Restrict. I think that's just a better floodgate to side against the frog decks than this. This only hits Monarchs or like Stratos or like Swap Frog, but it's like that's not enough to deal. Like I said, the issue, the biggest threats in Frog here is Caius and Absolute Zero, and this kind of does nothing against Absolute Zero, you know. Maybe against Caius, but still you have other cards that this does not do anything against. So I probably wouldn't side this again. The second Oppression, I think in the future I might main this and then put the Gores in the side, because Oppression just cooked this entire event. Like in the finals against GBs, like it's like they just lose to this card. Like what do you do? They activate the effect, activate Oppression, bye bye. Again, it also came up good against Lightsworn. It was very good against Lightsworn. But yeah, extra deck, don't need to explain everything. Standard. You didn't really make anything in extra deck besides like this. I made this once. Made this once. This couple times. Made Goyle a few times. Android a few times. I didn't really make these other than that. I know my teammate Zach was on Mistworm. You could probably cut one of these for Mistworm. It didn't come up today, but like because this extra deck, like you don't have to play everything in this. Well, like this extra deck is very like easy to like edit, so it's like you could obviously cut this one Armor Master for a Mistworm if you wanted to play Mistworm. But yeah, this is very very standard list. We'll go on to Cam's list. I spent like too much time on that. His was a very unorthodox list. He was playing this Dragonith, and I just told him, just cut this shit, get this shit out your deck, man, because you're gonna be bricking like shit. And honestly, he did brick like shit during the tournament, but there was a couple games where he opened Double Wolf and still won. I'm not gonna explain much besides like the 3 needle bug nest, which I think is just the card that's cracked in this build. It kind of just reminds me of like the Patrick Hovener, you know, which is like the best way to deal with most of these matchups is just turboing your deck, you know, getting cards into your graveyard as quick as possible so you can like drop JD and just kill your opponent, right? Break your opponent down just by milling Wolf and just beating in for damage. I think his deck is straight. I wouldn't play this if I was him, to be honest. I'd probably cut the Beckoning maybe. I think Avarice is good because he's playing the triple Needlebug Nest. I'm not sure what else I would change to this list. His side deck, pretty solid. Again, you can watch his videos for his explanations on that. Another thing, I think it's pretty much standard here. We're gonna go on to Zach's list. This is Zach's list. God, why are you so slow? So Zach, I did not realize this was 42 cards. Like it's when I was like typing it out, like making his list, it came out to 42. Now, again, his deck profile is on my channel, so you can watch that for all his explanation and all that. But yeah, his list pretty much similar to mine. He is on triple Upstart. Jar agreed. Obviously, this card can be like Legacy. He probably didn't have Legacy, but yeah, triple Upstart and double Jar Grief. So he was on 5 draw traps pretty much. which is pretty good. He wanted to see more cards. I mean, he's playing 42, but hey, fuck it, right? It worked out for him. I'm glad he also went 6-0. Um, I think the other thing that was different, he wasn't playing the Gores, but he was playing the Trunade. He didn't play Space Typhoon at all, but Trunade was cracked. I think if I were to make a change to my list, I would also consider the Giant Trunade because, like, again, you want your Black Whirlwinds to resolve. You want your Blackwing summons to go through. Um, and so, like, Giant Trunade your opponent is pretty good to make sure your plays go through and possibly just OTK your opponent. Um, and another like reason to back Giant Trunade is Icarus attack. Trunading them, if you're going second, you Trunade them, it kind of makes Icarus attack going second a lot better because you Trunade them, make your play, set the Icarus, and then you have to reset their field, end phase, boom, now you can Icarus them. So if they had a set Starlight Road from before and you Trunaded them, you go end phase on the next turn. Well, you set your Icarus and then end phase on the next turn, blow them out before they can even use their traps, basically. So I liked the fact that he actually played the Giant Trunade because that actually works so well with this. Besides the other good things that come out of playing the Trunade, bypass the Starlight Road, because a lot of people are citing that in against Blackwings because of like Icarus attack and whatnot. He was also on the one book, another good card. He was playing the one Compulse. Cameron actually told us to play Compulse. I wanted to play it, but I couldn't really find room for it. So I was like, all right, it's fine. I'll just keep. It was either one book or one Solemn or one book and one Compulse. I just went with Solemn. But yeah, Compulse was pretty good. I saw a play where he compulsed his own Fossil Dyna and like he like made a play where he special summoned and then special summon and like attacked the frog player for a whole bunch of damage. So yeah, that came up pretty clutch for him. Other than that, it's pretty much identical to my list. The side deck, he just maxed out on Crow. He played the one Warrior Lady, which this is his babe. This is his favorite side deck card because it's very good against the hero matchup, which the hero beat matchup can be kind of troublesome. But DD Warrior Lady kind of deals with most of those problems, like Neos Alias or like any of their bodies, basically, because like DD Warrior Lady effect happens in the damage step, so they can't like chain any Gem Spark or anything like that, right? So yeah, it's a pretty good side deck card. I'm glad he stuck with it because it did help him out throughout the day as well. So there's that. Everything else, like, it's similar, like double deck Devi, double dust. He was on the one Iron Wall, Soul Release, Knock. I think these are two cards he may change in the future. Everything else is pretty much standard besides the one Mistworm and the double Stardust. He wasn't playing Silverwind, which I kind of noticed that. Again, it's not really needed, but just in case it comes up, that's why I play it because you obviously play the Vayu. Now, if you play two Vayu, I would definitely play the Silverwind and maybe a double Armor Master, but like that's just a card just in case you see it. It'd be nice to have it in your extra deck, but obviously it's not a card that you entirely miss, right? But yeah, that's literally it for all our decks. That's literally how our tournament went. Hope you guys enjoyed this long video of me just rambling on. Happy holidays. Shout out to Team Wicked, shout out to Cam and Zach, the boys. We did so well this tournament, and again, I couldn't ask for a better team. And to get this dub before the Christmas, amazing. I can go into the new year, on a new high. I can't wait to play in the next Edison 3v3. Please like, comment, subscribe to Team Wicked. I'll have their link in the description. Subscribe to my channel. Love you guys. Happy holidays. Stay safe. Peace.